Let me give you a minute to greet our viewers and our listeners, and then you can introduce yourself as we start.
Nĩndamũgeithia mũno thikĩrĩria Trumpet of Hope twĩ gũkũ gatũra kanini getagwo Ciora gũkũ. This is Indiana. We are blessed and very happy this afternoon, even as we commemorate the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. It is true that because he's risen, we can see tomorrow. So that is our hope. The message of Easter, of course, is a message of hope. And regardless of what is going on right now in the world, we know that through Christ, we have hope. So we welcome all of you to this session, and we are trusting that we'll be able to enlighten you on a few things that we know about the COVID-19.
Thank you. Asante. John.
Yes.
Say hello to us.
Oh, yes. Hello to everybody who's watching Trumpet of Hope. I hope you all doing well on this Easter. Of course, yes, like he said, it is a very good time of hope and a very good season of hope. And we just want to, use this time to celebrate all of the wonderful things that Jesus has done for us just by dying on the cross.
Amen.
Yeah.
As we come to you live,
maybe when COVID started, they were saying that it's not going to affect the people of color or the Black people, which turned out to be false. Now, you mentioned about 1.8 million people worldwide have coronavirus, and over 100,000 people have died. That is worldwide. Now, anybody, regardless of race, regardless of age, can get coronavirus. Now, there is data out there that is showing that people of color, that is actually people of color, the Black people and the Hispanics are being affected more. And I don't know whether, John, you have that information somewhere.
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, I can pull it up. But it was more on the side of, like, especially for social economic status, based on for those two.
So what there is that of course anybody can get the virus, and what is affecting people, of course, and where we have seen the increase or more numbers being reported, is the people who actually ignored the lockdown, the people who ignored the social distancing. The social distancing has a magic on it, because that is what is preventing the spread of the disease. Now, it is affecting, in my analysis, I would say this, the people who are being affected are the African-American people, especially right here, which I would think it is partly due to the lifestyle. And even men, like you say, like men are being affected partly because of what? Their lifestyle. Men are probably, going out there. They are not careful. They are not men, and we can say this. I don't know how many times you have gone to the bathroom with men, and you see them walking out of the bathroom without washing their hands. Now, you go, you're touching services, you are greeting people, and you get yourself contaminated. And of course, if you're touching yourself, you get this virus to your mucosal membrane, then you get the virus. So in terms of the statistics, we have seen that about the African American, even actually the mortality or the death, there is those that get it, about 49% we are dying. which is one in, in every two, one person is dying. So African American are being affected. The Hispanic people are being affected. But more so, it is where the disease is. You see the statistics in New York, although I have not seen anything coming from there. I've not studied the statistics from New York, but Michigan kind of posted their data in regard to the races and who are being affected, and that is why I pulled that about, I think, 49%. Also in Louisiana, the same, it is affecting the African American more. But where the disease is not, it's not high numbers, it is very hard to say who is being affected. But part of it is there has to be exposure. You have to be exposed. And if you think of it, if you are exposed and you fail to respect the social distancing, then you're passing it to many other people. Of course, that is where now we are seeing those big, large numbers.
That is important. There's somebody who is asking, you have mentioned or spoke of exposure. Let's expound on exposure. I know there is so much going on the issue of social distancing, the issues of washing hands, the issues of using masks and PPE. And funny enough, we saw that people are even buying PPE and face masks back in Kenya from hawkers, and somebody's testing. Somebody tests the masks before saying this one is not fitting me, and then he or she drops it, and then somebody else will come and test the same. Let us expound and speak seriously about exposure and how to prevent that.
So really, this disease is very physical. It's based on more physical contact, which is why they're recommending social distancing. Because it's more like it's based on now physical contact. If you touch somebody who is sick, or like by shaking their hand, or if you touch the same surface as somebody who is contaminated, then your chances of getting this disease are raised. And so that's why they're telling you to diligently wash your hands, to make sure that you're constantly cleaning off surfaces that other people are going next to, making sure that if you're touching doors and surfaces like that, that you're making sure that your hands are clean or your hands are covered by something, so that you're lowering your chances of now touching a surface that somebody else might have touched as well, who is infected. And now on social distancing, one of the main things that the disease is doing is by keeping 6 feet apart, you are now putting distance between you and somebody who coughs. When somebody coughs, you're spitting out like these respiratory droplets, and these droplets have a tendency to travel about 2 to 3 feet from you. So now when you cough, it goes on. As long as you're keeping the 6 feet distance, then you're lowering your chances of now getting those droplets.
Let me, in that particular part, let's ask a question. How long does the coronavirus disease, or coronavirus COVID-19, whatever you call it in the medical terms, how long does it stay or last on surfaces?
You mean like how long? I have seen studies actually that are showing it can last even up to 3 hours in air. And of course, in also services, more than 3 hours. But
very good. Is it spread through air?
Now, there is a study that I read once. I think on March 5th, there's a group of choir that went out for practice. There were 60 of them. Now, that was before the social distancing was put into effect. So about 60 of them. 2 weeks later, 45 of them were diagnosed with the virus. So the question was, okay, we are talking of droplets.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, droplets, and if they were there, of course, singing, there is a lot of spitting. There's a lot of those just droplets with singing. But it was argued that there could be a component of airborne, but it is not proven, so to say. For now, what we are going by are the droplets. Now, the droplets, that is me talking, like when I'm talking, I'm spitting out saliva. When I'm coughing, of course, there is droplets. There is sneezing, there is the droplets. And those are that is how actually it is spread. Now, let's come to the masks. Now, the masks, they are not going to protect you from getting the disease. And again, I can say this, the masks will not protect you or myself from getting the disease. They can protect somebody who has the disease from passing it on. Now, if I had the virus and I'm containing my droplets, then that can prevent the spread of the disease. Now, the problem with these masks, like you said, if I have it, especially back in Kenya, which is a bad habit, I mean, you are picking a mask, maybe you have the symptoms, you leave it there, somebody gets it, definitely that is, somebody is gonna get the virus from such behaviors. So, but again, there is just a little bit, I think we can say like a little bit of protection once you wear the virus, but it is more so for people who are in medical field or people who are living in the same house with people who have already been diagnosed with COVID. If you're living with somebody who has COVID, it is important for that particular individual who has the disease and you to wear a mask. The risk goes down. And I can say even wearing surgical mask, which is the least of all the masks. If you wear the surgical mask and the patient wear the surgical mask as well, then the risk is lower. Why? Because the patient's droplets are being contained, and then of course you're covering yourself. You're covering the mouth and the nose, which is two of the organs where these droplets can go through. Now, the other thing that is we are talking of out there is avoiding touching your face. And I don't think people are understanding why we are told not to touch our face. Now, the virus, if the virus was in your hair, if the virus was in your head, it's not going to affect you. It affects you once it gets inside you. Think of it. If your hands were contaminated, if you had the virus in your hands and you're touching your eyes, that is the mucosal membrane, you're touching your nose, you're touching your mouth, you're just giving the virus route of entry, and it will enter your body, and of course it from there it will start replicating, and within no time you're going to start having the symptoms. So the masks again are okay. They are not 100%. They should be, of course, you have to utilize other. Hello. You have to utilize other methods to prevent the spread of the disease.
Hello?
Yes, Captain. Good. Yeah.
On the way,
Thank you very much. Pole sana. Hauman tashwishwi kidogo hau hagia na mudo uragire waya ciakwa na Goku gwito Texas kurari na storm nene muno and the storm caused such a mess on our internet cables and electricity. And right now, as we were just going on air, there was that interference, but at least it has been fixed, and we can proceed on, because I see people are still waiting to learn a little bit more on COVID-19. I hope that Joanne Mwangi, thank you very much. Haki Monawaga Dhiro, asante sana. Domerili Nikinyete Pista, Mudogoto Nancy Wangari from Arizona, Binta Mary, Sasa CNN. Thank you very much. Learning a lot from Dr. Kuria. Joanne Mwangi, thank you. We are learning a lot. And there's another question that is coming here. Faith, thank you very much. Everything is very clear now. I want us to continue and learn a little bit more. Dagitari?
Yes.
Pole sana, hena andu mekuhutetie gitenge gia thitima ni undu wa mbura iroirire a storm, and they just passed by, and that is why that happened, but not to go the nabere na nigetha tucoke thutha hanini. Hena mundu uranjira ati no wende umwire makiria kana o insist tondu andu angi matire marona kana maranyita horo uyu seriously, no aiga ataria na ruthiomi mekunyita uhutie vata wa mundu kuhuthira kindu gitagwo mask, na ni mask iriku tondu turonire andu angi marahumbira kinyagia na gatambaya ga handkerchief, na no nyende o insist hanini hau
riu na no nyende gukiaria na gikuyu uguo wega juge nyamu ici mask dio cietagwo atia na gikuyu no bathia ya kuhumbira maniuru na kanua riu ni itiganite muno nyamu ici na uria ndoiga hau ndigwicitie kana ndaiguo wega ni atiriri mask ndiragiriria mundu kunyita virus. Mask yokaga wega mundu uria wina murimu muno ndoigwa ireka ati na droplets no ginya o incorporate maundu mangi na ninguka njokie kiuria kiu no ginya o incorporate maundu maria mangi ukirora recommendations iria iheanetwo ri recommendation ya namba imwe biũ ti gwikira mask. Recommendation ya namba imwe ni gwika atia ni gwithamba moko. Urethamba moko niki ithuĩ tuthiaga tukinyitagirira ikani uri weciria handu haria he giko muno ndeithie muthikiriria wi hau ni haria nyonaga handu he giko muno ni gas station tugithi gwikira maguta no imagine nyamu kiu kihutagio ni andu aigana no kwimenyerera ona gwikira graph ihinda tari kana kunyita nyamu ya bobo na iratathi ni horo wa bata nigetha wigiriririe kunyita virus hi mundu ungikorwo uma hau uma na virus ona giko kia muthemba ungi no igwa gwithamba moko tondu riri ithuĩ culture itu ni ya kugeithania muthenya ugeithagia andu aigana tugeithagia andu aingi muno riu no haria nderoka kuga no igwa riu gwithamba moko na niho marauga no tutumire alcohol itagwo sanitizer. But the sanitizer has to be at least 60% of alcohol. So not just any sanitizer. Together for effective 60%. So the mask ugikira mask ri nego protect hanini hi ukiaria na mundu uragutwira uguo but more so ugiciria horo wa mask niwe hihi ungikorwo ina murimu ri irateithia nduga spread murimu kuri andu aria angi no nie ingikorwo ndire na murimu ri ndikudeithia muno ndikudeithia muno no riu ingikorwo na symptoms no igwa riu ngiaria na nigo tau ugikorwo na mask na nie hi ndinayo ri twacamania ri ona tukiaria ri the risk ya kiria gutambia murimu ni guthie thi tondu no igwe wina murimu kiria droplets ciake ni already they are contained na ni at least 2 of the 3 areas iria hinguku kuria virus ingigerera no igwe riu ni humbire, that is manioro na kanua ndu gagitigirwo maitho na nikio rakigwa ndiye kana tugithie tugikire nginya shield no kiria shield ni getha ikihumbire nginya maitho kana ene andu aria makire marekira maitho ni ega ta John Geciria. He has a great advantage than most of us. Riu agikira mask no ikimuteithie muno gukira ria giteithia andu aria angi. Now mask ciambagiriria kuma ya riu mask iria cio kwi surgical mask ni karia gakoragwo na tururigi kahuthu muno gekagirwo ni andu mingi magithi surgery kana aria me surgical room na kwire riu iria cigagithie ciganite kuri imwe ciikagirwo ni andu aria marahaka rangi na no ndiraciona ciikiritwo ni andu kuri ingi ciikagirwo ni aria marutaga kuria kwa RV kuri ingi ciikagirwo ni andu aria marahura dawa na kwire riu iria of course area etagwo N95 gwiciria niyo irakiheana the kiria maybe about 99% of protection, but the problem with that no nginya test together. I mean you have to be fit nigetha ukiheo area ikuhe better protection.
Okay.
Yes, so the N95 is of course the best, but again for the purpose of regular use, maraiga onagatabaya kau ehumbira nako, as long as your droplets are contained, I think ni guteithia mundu. But again, hihi mundu agikorwo na murimu ri agirwo ni guikara gwake, agirwo ni guikara mucii nigetha ndagatambie murimu ucio. But to tell you the truth, on my side, I do not see how useful the mask can be. But again, that is me. Dirona kurigana na uria kiri agikorwo nduri na murimu na urathie na ni ureherera andu ugaikara wi 6 feet ri mask no yage guguteithia. Niki guguteithia haha kiria giguteithia haha ri ni kwaga guthie micamanio, ni kwaga guthie ni ku respect social distancing. So domenya atiriri hingo twathi mucamanio na turi 11 mundu umwe agikorwo na murimu na ithuĩ twoge ithuothe wathie nduka wakora ni kuihure ri wathie supermarket or whatever stores that you go into wakora ni kuihure ri coka wethe time iria gukorwo gutari na andu aingi na hihi maybe a time like that one hihi ungikorwo no nginya uthie maybe a time like that one no ugerie gwikira mask. But again I'm going back and forth, but again you have to choose when the mask is effective. But again, if you're in a meeting, if you're in a situation where nobody is within 6 feet, I don't see how effective the mask can be. What can be effective ni gwithamba moko, tuthie kuria kati-ini tugicikururia, kuria tuthia kuhutia toguo ndaiga uhoro wa gas station na kuria andu mathiete riu magitigaga indo ta imira na ikorora na mata na manyamũ macio na ini droplets iria cingituma mundu agie na infection.
Okay.
So yes, other issues ni uria turaiga respiratory hygiene, uguo ugikorora ugagitiga gukororera andu. It's very painful. I watched a video ya mundu kuma Michigan. Unfortunately he passed on with the coronavirus. He was a bus driver. He used to carry public transport buses. Somebody walked into the bus and was coughing, and unfortunately, they were not covering their cough. So the driver, of course, got exposed, and eventually, he actually died maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago with the same when you're coughing, when you're sneezing, keep on watu waweka ate kwari ugaikara hanene, na andu nigetha tugerie kwaga gwika ate gutambia murimu.
Now, reke twarie ũhoro wa rĩrĩ, mũndũ arĩkia kũmenya atĩ ena COVID-19. Okay, let me start from here.
Yes.
Ũtiganu wa COVID-19 na mathĩna na mĩrimũ na homa iria ingĩ cikoragwo cirĩ kuo. Ta rĩu ũguo thaa ici kũrĩa Naikuru kwĩna influenza na kwĩratuĩka kwĩna ciana makĩria ma 30 iria cirarĩkĩtie gũkua. Na the ministry ya ũgima wa mwĩrĩ ĩraheana watho ciana ciothe ciakorwo ciĩna fever citwarwo thibitarĩ nĩgetha maheo vaccines icio cia kana mathondekwo. Tell us, where do we differentiate? Na ndũkamake nĩ gũcokera no hena andũ maingĩra kana maingĩra thutha na no twende to differentiate between COVID-19 na homa iria ingĩ cikoragwo cirĩ kuo. Thaa ici nĩ hĩndĩ ya flu season, kwĩna spring flu, no twende ũtũtarĩrie ingĩmenya atĩa atĩ ĩno ti influenza ĩna kana gakwa Naikuru nĩ COVID-19. Ingĩmenya nakĩ atĩ ti COVID-19 ndĩnayo nĩ kĩhuti gĩa kawaida.
Rĩu ũrĩa kũrĩ na no nyende gũkiuga ũguo nyambere na kuga mũndũ wothe ũrakorora ndarĩ na coronavirus.
Kurunĩra hau mũndũ wothe ũrakorora ndarĩ na COVID.
Andũ magĩte guoya marona mũndũ akorora makora. Rĩu ona ndĩrona ũngĩrora Facebook andũ maroiga nĩ maramisi ihinda rĩrĩa mũndũ akorora kana wathimũraga ũkerwo bless you. What is happening with people nĩ atĩ maraigua mũndũ arakorora mageka atĩa makora. Koguo the same note, on the same note nĩ ihinda rĩa it's a season for allergies. Rĩu andũ arĩa mena allergy nĩ marakorora mũno na nĩ megwathimũra no nĩ allergies icio. Now in terms of mĩrimũ ĩno yothe rĩu influenza na mũndũ gwĩtwo COVID-19 gũtirĩ na kĩndũ ciracitigithũkania wega mũno atĩ mũndũ angĩkwĩra gĩkĩ nĩkĩo atĩ mũndũ wa COVID nĩ egũtunĩha na mũndũ wa influenza akorwo no wa green. Aca kĩrĩa kĩroneka na kĩa mbere biũ nĩ fever. As the matter of fact, the guidelines iria kĩheanĩtwo gũkũ mũndũ ũratũthikĩrĩria kuma gũkũ US, any temperature of greater than 100.4. 100.4 ndĩririkana icio nĩ degrees Celsius cigana. No, 100.4 associated na rĩngĩ cough ũguo na body aches na rĩngĩ ũkĩigua ũnogete kũigua fatigue. Mũndũ wĩna symptoms ta icio nĩ wega kũrora na arĩa tũramarora na kũrĩa thibitarĩ tũramarora nĩ influenza A, nĩ influenza B kana nĩ COVID. Turacirora ciothe. Rĩu koguo ũrĩa ingiuga nĩ atĩrĩrĩ, ũngĩkorwo mũndũ ona kũu hihi na ũguo maragĩka ngwĩciria nĩ marakĩmarora matigakorwo nĩ COVID. Tondũ mũndũ wothe wĩna fever ona kũrĩa thibitarĩ mũndũ oka okorwo wĩna fever na nĩ ũrakorora no nginya ũrorwo tondũ gĩkĩ nĩ season yayo na tũtikwenda kũmĩmiss nĩgetha at least onokorwo gũtirĩ na treatment ĩkuo rĩ nĩgetha tũgitĩre andũ tondũ ũguo rĩu ũngĩkorwo wĩnayo nĩ ũkũigwo keheri-inĩ nĩ ũkũigwo keheri-inĩ nĩgetha ũhote immediately ũhote gwĩka atĩ ũhote kũrecover.
Na kũgĩa na COVID-19 ti certificate kana license ya gũkua.
That's another thing actually. Andũ mehokeria. Many people are recovering. Like we mentioned earlier, 1.8 million people worldwide have tested positive. How many of those have died? 100,000 or about that, which is, you can say that is 6%, 6.2. So in the US, we have close to, 50, that is 5 559,000 and over, maybe in about 21,000 nio makuite. Kugo tiate kwĩ mũrimũ wetagwo wa kĩhuruto wa ngũkũ, ti mũrimũ wa kĩhuruto, nĩ ngũkũ ciagĩaga mũndũ arokaga rũcinĩ ũgakora nĩ ikuire ciothe nĩ kĩhuruto, tondũ yagĩa kĩhuruto no nĩ yakuaga o rĩmwe. No Covid19 wamĩgĩa ti kuga atĩ nĩ wakua. I had actually a colleague recently who tested positive, went home, quarantined for 14 days. She's back to work.
Oh, wow. So what is your advice to the community, especially nĩ atĩa ũngiuga wĩ ta ndagĩtarĩ ũhutanĩtie na maũndũ maya na ũmenyo mũingĩ mũno, nĩ advice ĩrĩkũ ũngĩhe andũ aitũ, cũcũ ũrĩa wĩ mũciĩ, mwanake ũrĩa wĩ mũciĩ, mũirĩtu ũrĩa wĩ mũciĩ, nĩgetha tũhote kũnyita thirikari mbaru hĩndĩ ĩrĩa mararũa na Covid-19?
Nĩ kũgĩa na ũgĩ, ũcio nĩguo ũndũ ũrĩa ingiuga, ũgĩ na kweheria, tondũ sometimes nĩ twĩkaga maũndũ na ũrimũ na andũ aingĩ gwĩciria tũkoragwo nĩ ũrimũ witũ, tondũ gwakĩrwo twĩke social distancing sometimes tũrona tarĩ thirikari tũrekĩra, ici kana nĩ andũ arĩa angĩ ũrekĩra, no rĩu korwo nĩ ũngĩikara tau, ko mũndũ no ahote kũikara keheri-inĩ rĩ, ugerie ku avoid as much as possible. You do that a man can do, then no hote guikara utari na murimu. That is ugo kurerwo guikara 2 meters away from each other, okona ni kuria mishamanio iragithio, arafu gwithamba moko na kwaga kwihutia uthio, kanua, manioro, maitho, avoiding all those things. For those people that are back home, the greatest thing you can do to yourself is avoiding exposure. That is number one, avoiding exposure. If you do not have to go to that meeting, like I said, if you go to the stores, yes, go to the stores. If you find that the store kanaduka, if you go to a supermarket and it is full, come another time. Go do other things and look for a time where the supermarket will not be packed with people. The other thing is wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash them diligently. Now, of course, stop touching your face. Nyamũ ici ciĩtagwo mbeca nacio cikemenyererwo. Kenya nĩ makĩrĩ na mũnyaka tondũ nĩ kũrĩ na M-Pesa. M-Pesa nĩ kũgirĩrĩria kũhutia mbeca, tondũ kũhutia mbeca onakuo mbeca ciĩ gĩko mũno, na ngwĩciria one of the things that andũ arĩa China mekire nĩ mathambirie mbeca ciao nĩgetha itige gũ-spread mũrimũ. Rĩu koguo avoiding kũhutia mbeca oro ũguo ũtũmĩra M-Pesa, ũtige gũthiĩ kũrĩa mĩcamanio ĩrathio. Oko wĩna kĩrĩa rĩ, ndiũ kana nĩ ũrona andũ mena ũrimũ, ndiũ kana nĩ ũronete mũndũ ũrathiaga agĩtuagĩra mboga mata na gwĩka maũndũ ta macio ũguo. Koguo okorwo waigua wĩna symptoms rĩ, menyerera your brother, menyerera your sister, menyerera your friend, menyerera your village mate, nĩgetha mũrimũ ndũgatambe mũno.
Wow, thank you very much. Jokia mwena ũyũ ũngĩ, angĩkorwo wĩna kĩũria ũngĩenda no twandĩkĩre namba ya SMS nĩgetha tũke tũrĩkĩtie. Tũraria na Dr Paul Kuria na San John, na tũraria ũhoro wĩgiĩ Covid-19, tũkĩenda kũmenya tu o maũndũ merĩ matatũ nĩgetha andũ matige gũkorwo either mena guoya mũingĩ mũno kana makorwo me ignorant, kana mũndũ akorwo agĩtambia mũrimũ ũyũ kũrĩ andũ angĩ. It is very important to know the facts. Thank you so much. Caroline Maina, asante sana. Ndũmĩrĩri yaku kana ndakuona. Mũndũ wĩtagwo Lydia wa Karanja wa Ng'ang'a, asante. George Captain I am addicted to touching my nose. I'm trying very hard.
I advised him to get some mittens.
na andå arä a me addicted gå thiä makäheanaga high five
ndakwĩra ma na kĩrĩa
na hug na hĩndĩ ĩyo mũndũ athimũrire ha
I know
acoke agathiĩ aka hug mũndũ
nĩguo ngwĩciria nĩ hau ndĩraiga ha mũndũ akorwo na ũgĩ wa kuga atĩrĩrĩ angĩkorwo ndĩramenya nĩ ndĩrakorora rĩ angĩkorwo ndiraigua wega rĩ menyerera ũcio ũngĩ mwĩre reke tũkageithanie mũthenya ũcio ũngĩ wa ndũĩ tondũ iganĩra tũthome kĩrĩa gĩathomagwo nĩ akũri nũĩ iganĩra mũrũ kana iganĩra mwarĩ mũndũ tondũ mũrimũ ũyũ ndũrenda ithako na ũguo ũraigua tũkiuga andũ matikagĩe guoya rĩ ndiũĩ kana nĩ ũraigua ũrĩa twoiga hau ũguo na nĩ wega kũ insist hau ũguo ĩ kĩrĩa kĩngĩtũhonia na kĩndũ kĩrĩa kĩnene rĩ kĩrĩa kĩa bata rĩ nĩ kwaga kũgĩa mũrimũ kwaga kũũgĩa na kwĩmenyerera mũno nĩgetha ndũkagĩe mũrimũ ũyũ tondũ wa ũgĩa nĩ waigua tũiga atĩrĩrĩ andũ airũ rĩ tau gũkũ haha Michigan rĩ nĩ waiguire andũ arĩa marakua nĩkĩ 49%.
Yes.
49% ya andũ arĩa maragĩa airũ maragĩa Covid19 nĩ ũramoraga ũguo nĩ kuga atĩrĩrĩ harĩ andũ erĩ ũmwe nĩ arahenerio koguo the best thing or what we can do is to prevent or to avoid every exposure.
Wow. Yeah. That's serious. That's very serious.
Tondũ rĩu no igua angĩkorwo arĩa manyitwo ũmwe nĩ aragĩthiĩ rĩ na ithe ti ihinda rĩa kũhĩga mũndũ akamenya harĩa ũrĩ ndigũthiĩ
Wow.
There are many things, of course, that are being said out there. I mean, we have avoided, and you have been a good driver. You drive all the time. You didn't die from reckless driving, and many other habits that people die from. Why would you die from careless, hard shaking, or carelessness of not washing your hands, or even carelessness of touching your face?
Very good information. Nigetha tũke twarie ũhoro wa kĩndũ gĩtagwo immune kũmenyera immunity itũ rĩ hanini. We are going to talk about immunity hanini. No nĩngwenda kũhutia maũndũ merĩ matatũ. The total deaths thĩinĩ wa bũrũri kũrĩa Italy 19,899, Spain 16,972, France 14,393. United Kingdom. It's important to mention that the Prime Minister but in UK there are 10,612 deaths. Na ti gũkua nĩ accident kana anything else, gũkua nĩ Covid-19. New York City, US 6,898 deaths. New York City. Iran 4,000. Japan 108. Morocco I saw that 118 people have died of this virus. The list numbers I'm looking at I was trying to go to Africa and your name now let's look at those facts. We need to know this is real. So to ignorant. Turakorado president ni moiga kugina restrictions ici mithire ugakorado maragerera panyaruti ndikaniro nire andu makaiko ni ngari haria road blocks ire mundu agapeya na kuguo nyeki-ini agathikinya Nairobi thiini na it's very serious. Now how do we deal with this ignorance, it is becoming too much. Let's talk about nutrition, keeping our body fit. Ndaiguire ati andu mangiria Magĩnyua juice, aga lemon, aga ndimũ, maũndũ ta macio ũguo. Mention a little bit about our immunity. I know nĩngoraga mũndũ wĩtagwo Aunt Mary wa Ken akĩthondeka tũindo tũu twega and cooking very healthy foods. Na ndagĩtarĩ Jane Jahian na ndĩramona meho. Let's talk about that briefly, about taking care of our health systems as far as immunity is concerned.
Immunity, boosting your immunity or boosting our immunity is very important because that is actually even what keeps us from common cold, influenza, and the likes. So, of course, one of the treatments here at New York is high doses of vitamin C to try to boost immunity. Korea vega, and of course, a balanced diet. Especially even increasing your vitamin C. That is your most fruits, especially oranges. It's important. One thing I heard is that we'll talk a little bit about the treatments that are being used. The hydroxychloroquine. One thing, it is helping people with vitamin, zinc. The zinc, which is also boosting some immunity. Very important to boost your immunity. Even as we try to avoid exposure. So boosting your immunity, the risk of this disease, or the people who are dying, are the people whose immunity is not very strong. Of course, that is the older people. Now, of course, people with diseases like diabetes or cardiovascular diseases or kidney disease and chronic lung disease. It's an issue of immunity. So if you're young, if you're healthy, even the older, I believe boosting your immunity will help you fight COVID if you're to get it.
Very good. Before we come to, you can speak a little bit deeper about the treatment. Tũraiguĩte andũ magũra na makahold kĩndũ gĩtagwo ndawa cia malaria. Any other thing, any other treatment, nĩkĩ mũrahũthĩra nĩ tondũ wa gũthondeka mũndũ ũrĩa watuĩka ena Covid19? And should we do this? We are used to gwĩthondeka, mũndũ akamenya nĩ ndagĩa na kahoma.
Mũndũ wĩna mild symptoms ndaranĩdi ũndũ, no kũnyua maĩ na kũrĩa wega na kũhurũka na gũtreat symptoms. Kũhingo maigĩte ndũngĩnyua ibuprofen, but nĩmacokire makiuga no. The FDA nĩyaigire gũtirĩ na anything ĩngĩgiria mũndũ anyue ibuprofen. So treating the symptoms, if you have mild symptoms, treat your fever, treat your cough, take some Tylenol or ibuprofen for pain. Now, severe symptoms, there's high alert on this because people are treating themselves. I think the day after the president announced that hydrochloroquine can be used to treat COVID, there's somebody who died in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Then also here, I think a fish tank cleaner took some chloroquine, the chloroquine that cleans the fish tanks, and died from that.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
One thing that we need to know, the hydroxychloroquine affects your heart. It is causing something we call QT prolongation. So this is something that should be taken at surveillance, or people need to be monitored. I know we are used to treating malaria with malaria queen, but we are being discouraged from doing that, especially even here. You right now you cannot just prescribe hydroxychloroquine even or to anybody. It is used in hospital settings. I think there has been even several deaths. So be careful with what you do. The other medicine that they are using out there, the Zithromax, or what we know as Z-Pack. But again, also, it causes QT prolongation. You can see how that can be fatal if you're using the Zithromax and hydroxychloroquine, both of which can cause QT prolongation. I don't know. So, in other words, if you have severe symptoms or you're at a point where you need medications, you should be in a hospital, not at home.
Now, let's come to that. Natalia hawega. Nĩndaigua ndĩna kahoma kanini, ndĩrathimũra, ndĩrakorora, ndaigua ta ndaigua kabiba kanini. Ndathiĩ ndagũra Tylenol kana ndagũra Panadol kũrĩa mũciĩ. When should I take that action ya gũthiĩ thibitarĩ kana kuona ndagĩtarĩ?
Now, gwĩciria ũrĩa tugire nĩ rĩrĩ, tugire ũrĩa mũrimũ ũyũ ũthiaga. Tugire kĩndũ kĩa mbere rĩ, mũndũ, of course, we didn't touch on that. From exposure, the incubation period is only 2 to 14 days. Most people get symptoms in about the median or on average in 5 days from exposure. So now that is when you start getting maybe mild symptoms. Like we said, this is a fever, you have cough, you have body aches, you have poor appetite, and the other symptoms. Now, initially, these symptoms are mild. Now, once you start having shortness of breath, that is now the time to seek help. That is the time to seek help. So I don't know whether you have watched the videos. To the end stage na Korea, they're having issues breathing. You're seeing people, the chest is rising and falling. There's use of accessory muscles. Now, do not wait until then. Once you start having shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, seek help.
When you have difficulties breathing, ona
ndagĩtarĩ no rĩu fever no ũnyuĩre Tylenol, gũkorora no ũnyue ndawa iria cikĩrĩ kuo cia gũkorora, na body aches no wĩke atĩ mild symptoms no citreaterwo mũciĩ.
Thank you very much. Reke tũke harĩ and this goes to John. John, the young people think that they are free from all these things and they are jumping around. They are going for parties, even if it's not public parties, they are going for private parties. From his house to a friend's house, and they continue, making merry. I know some nations and some cities have their own restrictions. Can you speak to the young generation, the young people, and even the parents who have the young people? I don't know. What is your advice to them as an expert in this?
I would say just because you're young doesn't mean that you don't have the possibility of catching this corona. Yes, it's being shown that the younger people aren't being affected as much as the older generations or other people like that. But that's not necessarily saying that younger people or people who are younger are now immune to getting coronavirus. If you're young, that you should still be social distancing. You should still be keeping at least 6 feet or 2 meters away from other people. and you should still be isolating yourself at home. You should still be staying at home and staying within your house until now, as per your government's regulations and what you're being told now by the government, because that's still important. Because even if you're a young person, yes, you could get better, but also you're risking spreading it towards other people who are now more susceptible to the disease. You have to remember, like, now, if a young person like me, if I'm just going out and I bring it home, maybe, or even bring it to now like your grandparents or other people like that, you're now risking their health because of now what you did. You could get better, but now you also have to think about the other people that you're staying with and all those and the people that are around you.
Thank you. Dr. John, do you have something to add on that?
Actually, that is very important. Actually, that is what I was hoping that you add, because it's not only about us. It is also about the other people. The issue is the spread of the disease. I
believe for the flu, it's said that like the infectious rate is about 1.2%, and now compared to Corona has like a 3% infectious rate.
Wow. That is double, or more than double. So you see, this virus is not a joke. So for the young people, protect your parents, protect your grandparents. Do not spread the disease. I think you may do something. We used to be told that you can do something in pressure. The pressure goes, but the ugliness of the pressure remains. So you may do this. You may ignore the regulations that are set in place by the government, but again, you're going to regret, because God forbid that out of your carelessness, you bring the disease to your mother or your father or your grandparents, and they end up, they succumb to the disease. Then I don't think you forgive yourself. So as there is now, I think it is very important to abide to the regulations.
Stay home, stay safe. Those parties will still be there even after the quarantine is opened up. So
wow.
Yeah.
Point on.
True. Yeah.
Let's talk about the BCG. Somebody is asking about that.
Again, what I said at the beginning, there are so many things that are being thrown out there. If you call people at home, they are doubling on tea, lemon, and other things. Yes, those things will increase our immunity. BCG, somebody has said, yes, it might, but these are just they are speculations. They are not based on science, because no study has been done, and no study has been done. So I think it is just somebody who is speculating. There was also speculation that coronavirus may go away when the weather starts getting warm. We are seeing that the experts are saying no, it's not going to go away. So the BCG, I don't believe that it's not based on science. It's just somebody who is just trying to think. And many other theories that they are saying. Of course, I know we have heard that this is from the coronavirus. It's not coronavirus that is killing people. It's the 5G technology. All these are just speculations. And even the worst is yet to come. Those of us that have been around for some time, will know. Soon we are going to have preachers telling us to plant seed to protect our family members. Kanyari and the others will start saying, plant a seed of $100 to protect yourself from the virus, and many other things. So check your sources. I think that is what I would say. If you're hearing something, just make sure that the source is valid. Is it coming from a valid source, or is it just somebody who want to excite people? Just like I said in the beginning, we were very excited because we were told that the coronavirus will not affect Black people.
Yeah.
Until Kevin Durant got tested and he was positive and he was asymptomatic. And until now, recently, we had now, there is a twist into that it is affecting us more than even the Caucasian people. So BCG is just speculation.
Thank you very much. You mentioned about asymptomatic, and it is important kuga na haha tukwenda kwaria na rũthiomi rwa Gĩkũyũ. Thengio mũnyui wa ndũng'ũ ndakunyita Nancy Njeri wa Mwangi, asante sana. Ndũmĩrĩri cianyu ciothe ndĩcinyitĩte wega mũno na ndĩrona ciũria icio ciothe. Wanjiko Gordon kuma United Kingdom, a very good information and advice. Now, reke twarie ũhoro wĩgiĩ asymptomatic. To nginya mũndũ akorwo ena fever kana agĩkorora kana agĩka maũndũ maya mangĩ nĩgetha akorwo akĩoneka ena virus cia COVID. Hĩndĩ ĩrĩa mũkingo wokire, andũ meragwo wona mũndũ hana ABCD ũkamenya enaguo, no nginya mũndũ athimwo nĩgetha kinyagia andũ manyitanio. Now this is worse tondũ mũkingo nĩ ũngĩahotire kwĩgitĩra na ũndũ wa gũikara wĩnyereketie wega biũ, no rĩu haha kwĩna andũ matarĩ na symptoms. And this is where the seriousness comes in.
Muno tau andũ arĩa matarĩ na symptoms nĩguo raigua rĩ, ti kuga ciana itiraũgĩa na andũ anini matiragĩa ta ũrĩa tũkugĩte, no matironeka mena symptoms icio, na no tũgĩe na no kũgĩe na andũ nacio nĩo most dangerous. Okay, now also mũndũ agĩa na tau, when you become exposed, you're not getting the symptoms right away. But the studies are showing that once you're exposed, you can still transmit, or you can transmit it to other people even before you start getting the symptoms yourself. And now that is where now still we go back to what? Social distancing, to the to cleaning our hands, to not touching our face, keeping distance, keep staying at home. So nĩ tondũ andũ acio meho mũndũ atarĩ na symptoms rĩ, tondũ the only thing ingĩtũteithia nĩ gũikara away from no gũikara kĩrĩa mũciĩ, gũikara social distancing. Tondũ no igua tau tũngĩthiĩ, a good example nĩ atĩ, of course ithuothe tũthiĩ kanitha nĩ twendete kũgoca Mwathani, tũthiĩ kanitha, no tũthiĩ tũrĩ andũ 100, no kuma ũmwe witũ uma hau na ndarĩ na gũkorora, ndarathimũra, nĩ mwega mũno na arĩaga irio wega mũno. No akorwo na mũrimũ ũcio, nĩ tũthire twahagana, nĩ tũthire twageithania, nĩ tũthire tweka maũndũ marĩa mangĩ. And you see how much that can be disastrous. Yes, that can be very, very dangerous. Tondũ rĩu mũndũ ũcio no rĩu ta kanitha-inĩ gwitũ kũrĩa twendete kũhagana, maybe in one Sunday I would maybe say hi to 50 or 60 people. If I had the virus and I'm greeting all these people, virus, to everybody. So now mathiĩ kwao ũguo, no ũrĩa mũrimũ ũyũ ũngĩthiĩ kĩrĩa ũngĩtherema.
Nake ũcio agathiĩ gwake, ũcio ũngĩ nake agathiĩ gwake, ũcio nake agathiĩ gwake. And then rũciũ tũgathiĩ wĩra.
Tũgamagwatia na cukuru na kũrĩa kũngĩ nĩ wega ũguo cukuru ihingĩtwo.
Wow, aya kinyagia hau tukinyete nĩ twarĩtie maũndũ maingĩ mũno ma bata na ndĩramenya andũ no marathiĩ na mbere na kwĩruta. Kenya, riboti ĩrĩa yumire mũthenya wa ũmũthĩ gũkinyĩria thaa 9 cia hwaĩ-inĩ April 12, kuna cases 197 with 6 new cases. 4 of the cases are below 15 years. 53 are between 15 and to 29 years. 127 are between 30 and 59 years. 13 are above 60 years. Total test iria ciĩkĩtwo Kenya nĩ 7,449 out of a population of 50 million people. The test ciĩkĩtwo nĩ 7,000. And out of this, we have 25 recoveries and 8 people have died out of Covid19 thĩinĩ wa bũrũri wa Kenya out of the 50 million people and 197 cases. Statistics icio ciothe, 1, cigakorwo ciĩna guoya tondũ tũtirĩ tũrakinya level ya gũthima andũ na njĩra inene. If we have just tested that number of people, then we are still down there. What is the future of COVID-19, both to the developed nations like America and even to third world countries?
You see, I think haria turonera utiganu ugiuka muno ni atiriri ungicira ta guku turiri nginya uria wi gicagi kiria gicagi ta guku gwitu tugikaraga. The testing is similar to the people that are in cities like even New York or more those other cities. Now, number no high, though we are testing and we are reporting. Now, when we go back to home, I come from a small village called Gochi village. Gochi village is in a place called Githunguri. Githunguri is in Kiambu. Now, I doubt that maybe, and I'm not even sure unless those people that are living in the city, that anybody from my village has been tested. Now, if somebody was to die, like I know a relative died recently, but I don't know even how they died anyway. But if they happen to die from COVID, who would know? You can only tell what you no. Look at the future and the future. If we continue doing quarantine or the social distancing, this will help. But of course, there is the risk cases. Now, one thing that we need to understand is that if I get a virus and I do what is necessary for me and I do not give it to him, the virus will end with me. It will go through its cycle and die in me. You see what I mean? But if I get it and give it to him, when it dies from me, then it is in him and it has to go through the cycle, its whole cycle. Now, if he happens to give it to somebody else and somebody else there and all that, then that is what will make things worse.
Okay.
But if I was to do what is necessary with me and I do not spread it, then virus netoko mikonga.
That is very important.
We may not.
That's very important information. Very important information. Let us touch this as we wind up. A recap of some of our main points. I know we have touched so many things, and at one time there was the issue of the sound, but I thank God because everything is so clear. Let us have a recap of the very main points. What is COVID-19 and what are the symptoms? Just a recap for the people shortly.
So so COVID-19 is now a respiratory disease that is mainly spreading from person to person through now physical contact or now the respiratory droplets that are being passed when you talk or when you sneeze or when you cough or anything of the sorts. Now, and we said the virus itself does not discriminate. It doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your age. Any person is capable of getting this virus. And the one thing that you can do is to prevent this virus is to avoid exposure. Keep yourself quarantined, keep yourself isolated from other people, stay 6 feet away from other people. Make sure that you're washing your hands diligently for at least 20 seconds every single time that you're washing your hands. Clean off surfaces. Make sure that you're disinfecting or you're wiping off any surfaces that are common ground or places where people are touching or going through a lot. And make sure you're avoiding areas of contacts with your face and your mouth and your nose, just because those are areas where the virus itself are entering.
Good. So the key point, I think, with the COVID, as we know what it is, and we said the complications of COVID is what is killing people. Mũrimũ ũyũ wa kũnyita nĩ affectaga mũndũ ambagĩrĩria kumia gĩkorora. Gĩkorora nĩkĩo kĩrathiĩ gĩkahinga kũrĩa gĩkagirĩrĩria rĩera, exchange ya rĩera kana rĩera rĩkwaga kũingĩra mwĩrĩ-inĩ. Na rĩu hau nĩho andũ marathiĩ, ĩyo nĩyo thiaga affect andũ, and that is how people end up of course dying from the complication of from the pneumonia, viral pneumonia that is killing people, or viral, and also of course with viral cardiomyopathy as we mentioned. So the key emphasis, even with knowing about this disease, the key emphasis that, or what I would want to emphasize is that when it's not a ticket to dying. Some people are so worried that if they get the virus, they will die. No. There is a risk for death, and this risk goes up with number one, age, and the number two is underlying conditions, which, like I mentioned earlier, diabetes, cancer, kidney disease, cardiovascular disease. People who are immunocompromised. This is people who are taking immunosuppressive drugs, people who are on, or people, let's say people who have lupus, people who have rheumatoid arthritis, people who have multiple sclerosis, people who are taking immunosuppressive drugs are at risk. And of course, people who are elderly, that is, the risk goes very high, especially to people in their 80s. And this was seen in China. It was also seen in Italy. So those are the studies that we are going by. Most of the information that we have shared today, of course, we got it from Up to Date, which is a very valid site. If you have any questions, feel free to inbox me, feel free to reach out to Captain. He will get a hold of me, and then we can maybe clarify anything that was not clear. But again, the key thing that we need to know is to prevent exposure, keep yourself from being exposed, and if you have the disease, do not spread it. Again, wash your hands. Wash your hands. Clean surfaces. I personally, I think I have phobia of gas stations. That pump being, hold it with something. Don't just hold it. That is one area where you can easily get a virus. I know in stores they are cleaning the cart. They are at least using the wipes on the shopping carts. So at least there we are a little bit protected. Koguo wimenyerere kunyita mũrimũ ũyũ, na wimenyerere wa ũgĩa rĩ, tiga kũneana ta kũrĩ andũ arĩa angĩ. Ngwĩciria he mũndũ ũcio tũronete kũrĩa Pennsylvania ũrathiaga agĩtuagĩra mboga mata nĩgetha andũ angĩ meke atĩ. Ũcio ngwĩciria nĩ torogi. I mean ũcio nĩ mũndũ wĩna maũndũ make, no, kana hihi mũndũ wĩna mũthũku mũtwe. Koguo just prevent or protect the others. Protect yourself, protect the others. Na toguo John igire ũhoro wa andũ ethĩ. Menyererai akũrũ anyu, menyerera aciari aku na cũcũ wanyu. Tiga gũthiĩ kũrĩa ũngĩnyitĩra mũrimũ. Maũndũ maya mekuo twanina quarantine ithuĩ tũgũkorwo kuo, na no ithuĩ tũgũthiĩ rwĩmbo na twĩke maũndũ marĩa mangĩ. Koguo tũmenyerere acio akũrũ, twĩmenyerere kũnyita mũrimũ, twĩthambe moko, tũtige kwĩhutia maitho, maniũrũ na kanua, na twatua gwathimũra tũgathimũrĩra nguo, na tũgagĩka maũndũ macio mangĩ marĩa tũgĩathĩtwo twĩke. Wagĩa na mũrimũ virus, wambĩrĩria gũkorora, okorwo symptoms ni mild, no ũcitreatĩre mũciĩ, no kwambĩrĩria gũgĩthũka, wambĩrĩria kũgĩa na thĩna wa kũhihia, thiĩ wone ndagĩtarĩ. kuria Kenya gwitå nĩguo ndĩronire ndĩraroraga ngona ndĩragwo kwĩna malaria igana rĩa 25 ma ICU na vents ngwĩciria itakinyĩte igana no kwĩna good news KU nĩ ĩrathondeka ventilators na ngwĩciria I saw somewhere that will be metĩkĩrio nĩ megũthondeka 50 per day. No tũrĩegega ndaiguire Malawi mena malaria 25 ma ICU koguo tũrĩ mbere hanini na ventilators nyinyi mũno koguo tũrĩ mbere rĩu koguo no ũndũ mũnene nĩ atĩ tũtige gũkinya kũu kwa ventilators tũtige gũkinya ũhoro wa ventilators tondũ ventilators nĩ mũndũ ũrakua na rĩu kĩrĩa kĩnene mũno tũngĩciria kana what I would want us to take from this presentation nĩ kũmenyerera tũmenyerere mũno tũtigatheremie mũrimũ ũyũ. That is the key word. Please prevent yourself from being exposed and prevent the spread of the disease.
Wow. Thank you very much. That was powerful. Toguo Dagitari Paul Kuria. Dagitari Paul Kuria akoragwo kuria gwitagwo Indiana, and his son John, who is a great man. This young man that you see right there is in high school.
Just finished, just graduated.
And in church, he does a lot of guidance to the youth. They acted a very nice drama. Can you tell us what you do outside being together with your dad and studying?
Well, yeah, I play a big part at church. I do sound, and I also do instruments. I play the drums at church. And then at school, I am an actor, and I do a lot of acting, and I do a lot of dancing, and I do a lot of singing. And I take quite a few. I finished a course in anatomy and physiology through my high school, and also a college level of biology through high school.
Wow. So by the time we start off the COVID, you have already done a little bit of your college classes. You want to be like your dad?
Oh, yeah. Doctor.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, we are so proud of you, John, and together with your family and the other youth members from church, thank you for whatever you are doing. Hey, I have a request.
Yeah.
Can you please tell the people that they need to subscribe to the Trumpet of Hope YouTube channel?
Subscribe to the Trumpet of Hope YouTube channel. You will be blessed.
Amen. And also, I saw that you have an app, Android and also iOS.
Yes.
So we'll be getting that. And thank you for the good work you're doing. We will be coming back. I think if so, I'll request that we're going to talk about mental health.
Very important. Very important. And especially at this time.
Yes. I think mental health and of course depression is taking a toll on people, especially with this lockdown. So we can plan on that.
Thank you very much. Say hello to Dr. Jen. Here.
Yeah.
And all the Mission Fellowship members. Wow, I miss. By the way, greetings from Alan Aaron, greetings from Charles, greetings from Hoke Madani, Ketu Paul, and all the others. I can see all the messages right here. So bye-bye and God bless you. What is your final word, final encouragement?
Trust in God. I think there's a lot of things that are going on in the world, and some of us may become hopeless, and we may be talking about this COVID and even amplified more than the devil. But just remember that COVID is not the devil. There's a Satan out there. But the key thing to know is that Jesus has conquered the enemy. We have victory in Jesus' name. All these things will happen, but again, just know even if you're to die and die in Christ, as Paul said, it is great gain. So let us trust in God. Let us continue truly trusting in God. I mean, I've had arguments that people are fearing COVID as though we don't trust in God who heals. Yes, God has given us wisdom. Yes, we are going to do what is necessary for us to do, but let us not fail to trust in God.
Amen.
Now, and happy Easter. God bless you. See you next time.